Hello and welcome to Tatooine. Before we get started with the playthrough, I'd like to give a little history on this particular toy box. This is one of my oldest creations that was originally just a static toy box well before I began learning how to use the creativitoys. It was my first attempt at creating Mos Eisley. After Disney canceled the game, we drifted away from it and it spent the better part of 3 years put away. Then the events of 2020 happened and I suddenly found myself with plenty of free time at home. So last spring my daughter pulled it out and we started playing again. That's when I discovered some truly amazing content creators on YouTube such as 72 Pringle, Professor Toybox, Poppa H, and All Night Gaming. I started learning how to use the creativitoys to create story-based toy boxes from their tutorials, and I used this Tatooine toy box as my test bed. This is the result. It's not a story-based toy box, it's just a fun place to hang out and do different things.
Acceptable team.
And we certainly do. So we'll go ahead and we'll select A here to continue with our adventure. We have an Imperial Star Destroyer coming in overhead and over our little spaceport here. We have our two TIE interceptors on patrol, and that's why I have that little prompt there to question the player if they want to start the adventure or not. If you hit B, certain animated things such as the TIE fighters won't start. That allows me to go in and make edits to the level without affecting certain animated objects in the game. So selecting A will turn on all of the AI for the game. So we have a couple of this structure here. At either end we have a couple of little merchant areas, creating some using the friendly generators to generate some merchants and customers there. We have our Sand Trooper patrol here connected to a path. The unfortunate thing is they won't attack you when they're on the path. They'll turn to attack you, and they'll say some pretty funny insults send your way, but they won't actually physically attack you. But I tend to just let them stay on their path and maintain their patrol throughout our town here. So shooting this button here will get Luke's land speeder, and this one on the corner of this building we can get the speeder bike. And over here at Anakin's garage, a couple more buttons that'll give us Anakin's pod racer, as well as Sebulba's pod racer. There comes our patrol up behind me again. Have one hangar here, some evidence of rebel activity, some of Sabine's artwork up there on the wall. Here's Hera. And the Ghost is connected to a path here to take off and land in this particular hangar, and here it comes right now in its landing phase. And then it'll slowly move across the floor a short distance before it takes off again and flies its path across the sky. Based upon 72 Pringle and his Mandalorian series, particularly his video on how to make your spaceport come to life. Just taking a tour through our little spaceport town here again. Canteen over there in the distance where we spawned when the game started. Transport coming overhead, hangar doors, sound effects. Some buttons in here and a couple more Rebel pilots, Wedge and Biggs. So definitely why the Empire is making their presence known here, because of all the Rebel activity going on in our small little spaceport here. We have Luke's X-Wing, a Y-Wing, and this button here will give us the Millennium Falcon. So definitely a Rebel haven. There goes our TIE fighters again, our TIE interceptors. This button here is a kill switch. It removes all the generated vehicles just to improve memory. This toy box is pretty much at its capacity on the memory meter, so sometimes I find I need to remove all the vehicles for it to run smoothly, particularly when we get into the areas where we have enemy waves. So we come back around the back corner here. There's a dynamic trigger here set to either 10 or 12 units, pretty short distance, but this will generate some Imperial officers that are not connected to a path, so you're free to attack them and they will attack you back.
Boba Fett never fails.
I'm set here to easy difficulty just for speed of defeating the enemies as I demonstrate this, just to make it a little bit simpler. I really like those TIE interceptors. Two of my favorite versions of the TIE fighter from Star Wars. Of course, it was really cool that Rebels made the TIE Defender canon. But I always liked that TIE interceptor just from Return of the Jedi. I like this little communication tower here. Fun with the blinking light and just the communication sounds that it makes when you're up close to it. Also from 72 Pringle, he made a really cool Bunta Eve pod racing level for 2 players, a timed race. And part of his race course has a graveyard of Star Destroyers. So I learned from that how to use the path tool and crash a Star Destroyer into the ground here. And we have some sand mounds here that obviously got pushed up by the impact of our Star Destroyer. It's kind of looking, there's the one that came in overhead to the Empire to regain control of this spaceport overrun by rebels. Over in this area we have Rey's wrecked walker, AT-AT walker, and this will spawn some thugs and thieves over here for combating, if you like. It's all set to a trigger area, a large trigger area around this entire encampment. So when you enter it, it spawns the enemies, and if you exit it, any remaining enemies will be automatically defeated or removed. This is the tough guy here. He's a heavy hitter with that axe. Even on easy, he's got quite a bit of health.
You cannot win.
Still working on trying to take him out. The other guys are easier to defeat on easy. There we go. That skill did it. So there's 6 enemies over here. There's one over there. He is. He's wandering around the sand dunes over here. We'll just go ahead and take him out and move along. There he is.
If you insist.
I love Boba's grappling line. He has some of the coolest skills in the game. Our flying ships again. Now we'll come over here to Jabba's palace area. I thought this was pretty cool. I thought that he should probably have a spaceport for the various people that do business with him, smugglers and pirates, bounty hunters. So, and I wanted it to be part of the natural terrain, so I played around with this for hours trying to figure this out, how to use the terrain pieces. Like I said in my opening remarks, this was kind of a test bed, me learning how to do things. And I thought the result came out pretty cool looking, using these Hangar 94 rounded corners with the hangar doors, as well as these terrain pieces. Of course, you shoot the button, you'll get the slave one here. I'm at a loss for words, trying to think of what words I want to say, and they're at the tip of my tongue, but they won't come out. So up here we have a couple critters from Return of the Jedi, the orange tang over here, and the wart, which I think actually ate the orange tang. Not in my game. I got them safely separated. So we can go up and ring the doorbell. And this will connect us to an interior, so we'll go ahead and travel to Jabba's palace. So this is actually an interior that my daughter had created, and all I did was I was experimenting with the Toybox doors and how to link to other toy boxes or interior toy boxes. So she created it, and I just linked to it. I thought it was a cool thing to do within our little Tatooine world here. You notice that I have no music playing any of this level. I do have changes of music. The basic Sandcrawler music will play in the regular level. There's Han Solo and Carbonite, Lando, the dancing slave girls.
Protocol droid
R2 and C3PO
C3PO.
over here. But
Worthless.
anyway, I have all my music turned off for this video just because of copyright
Calrissian.
infringement.
As Morgan still hates you, be glad he cannot afford my
Kind of
services.
strange that we can make video content with characters that are from various Disney IPs, properties, but the music that's part of the game, you'll get a copyright claim if you have that playing. Respawns us back out here outside of Jabba's palace. Reloads the level so the Star Destroyer will move back in on its path. And now we'll go ahead, we'll bypass the Sarlacc Pit and talk about that last. Come over here to our Tuscan Raider camp. Once again, just a very large trigger area surrounding this entire encampment that will generate enemies at random locators, so it's a little bit different each time. Some of them will generate inside the huts, others will generate up on the cliff sides there. So we see some running around there. There's one up there on that cliff piece. Spent a lot of time designing this too, and a lot of redesign where I built it, wasn't satisfied, deleted it, rebuilt it. I was really just learning and experimenting with the terrain pieces of how they would fit together and how they would look. And see, that's a glitch in my game. That right there. He's been partially damaged, but now he's undefeatable. That sometimes happens where I end up with an enemy that can't be damaged.
What a waste of my time.
Usually takes some sort of special skill then to special move meter, or your special move is usually what will correct that glitch. Just gotta take care of these other guys that are hitting me in the back. Like even that shot there is not damaging him. Not even that skill of placing the bomb on him did nothing to damage him, but my rocket attack here will. There we go. So I don't know if anyone else ever experiences a glitch like that in my game, but I think it's a result of just running way up in the red. So just a little tour here of my design of my Tuscan Raider camp. There's a mining elevator there. One of the ways to get up to the top. There's also the various climbing walls in the rope climb, different ways to get up to the top. Or if you're Boba, you just fly up. It's another one of the really cool skills that I like that he has. He's not the only character with flying abilities, but it's definitely a cool ability to have. Down there, of course, we have the droid's escape pod impacted down into the desert. Just a cool decoration to have laying around. Our small little spaceport. And we have our sandcrawler here on a path. Also, once again, 72 Pringle, his video on how to make your spaceport come alive. He has a tutorial for how to make your ships take off and land in the hangars, how to make ships fly across the sky, how to all using the path tool, and how to make your sandcrawler go around your town. So I was experimenting with all of that as I was developing this, using this as my test bed. I think it came out with a pretty cool little level. Not story-based by any means, but just a lot of fun, different things to do. Of course, closing the doors will start the sandcrawler moving again. I still really like those TIE interceptors. Alright, the next place we'll go is we'll go ahead inside the cantina here. So we'll meet everybody inside, and once again, this is just another interior design that my daughter had made, and I just linked to it. Some cool characters and stuff in here is Dr. Evison and Ponda Baba from the first movie having an argument. They also appeared in Rogue One, which was a pretty cool little reference to them. There's our band. Normally, here in my supply room, there's the boombox. So normally we'd have the cantina music playing, but like I said, I have my volume turned down to 0 in my settings so that there is no music playing.
For now.
And we'll go ahead and go back to our town. And that'll respawn us back out front again, and here comes our Star Destroyer again as the level loads. So we'll go back inside our hangar, and what I'm trying to do here, I'm doing a voiceover here, but I'm forgetting that this button is the kill switch. I'm trying to get the Millennium Falcon. I'm trying to figure out, okay, why isn't it giving me the Millennium Falcon? In fact, I'm going to try. Well, there's strike 3. That didn't work either. So I finally realized I was shooting at the wrong button. There's the button that's going to give us the Millennium Falcon. So we'll take this out for a little test run here. Do a roll to get out. So I was trying to create a canyon here. I call it the ditch or the trench. It's not really a very good representation of Beggar's Canyon, but it's good for testing your flight skills with the ships or using the speeders. The pod racers is fun to come in here. And like the Falcon, it reminds me a little bit of that scene in The Force Awakens where Rey was piloting the Falcon and very close to the terrain and scraping along the ground. And it's kind of what makes me think of it. Regardless of what you think of the movies, good, bad, or indifferent, it's still a pretty cool scene. So, my trench here, I come here to practice my flying skills. Always seem to turn a little bit too late. I never quite judge it right and I bump into the terrain, but not enough to kick me out of the ship. If you hit the terrain hard enough, it'll knock you out of the ship. That turn, I got real close to getting it timed perfectly. Still a little bit too late. Same with this one. Ugh, bump. Well, once again, here's just a flyby of the map here. Fairly massive map. A lot of different details that eat up the memory. Victory roll. Also a chance to work on your landing skills, so we'll try and come back here to the hangar and make a decent landing. I don't think I ever make a perfect one, but plop, there we go. It'll work. I didn't crash. I usually crash. Got lucky that time. And then to clean up our memory, go ahead, hit our kill switch there and remove the vehicles. And the only reason I have that kill switch again is just to manage my memory. Alright, last place of our tour. So they gave us the Sarlacc Pit, which is kind of a cool thing and kill you if you fall inside, but they didn't give you anything else to play with it. No desert skiff, no Jabba's sail barge. So I got the idea from Poppa H. He actually created using the basic blocks in the path tool, he created the Razor Crest from the Mandalorian, Din Djarin's ship. And it's awesome. The exterior is accurate. He even has interior space with the cockpit and living quarters. So I got the idea, if he could create that ship, I can create my own desert skiff. Now, it looks a little bit more like an armored vehicle, but it gets the idea across. And I used the Tatooine brown metal, which is actually green, which gives it that armored look. But there wasn't any other color, brown color, that I really liked. The kiln was kind of close, but I just like this look of it better. So it's kind of fun just to jump around and play around on. The video that's going to follow this, I actually, in a brand new Toybox, I'm going to recreate this step by step. So if anyone who's interested and you want to know how I built this and would like to attempt to build your own version of a desert skiff, I'm going to have a tutorial. So we shoot the target here and we'll get an enemy. Notice he takes a little bit of time to spawn. That's just because I'm running up in the red on my memory meter. It's fun got the idea it'd be fun to have like a battle. So I was just testing here, generating a single enemy. Knock him off, push him into the Sarlacc Pit. And then we have a reset button here that will reset the plank here. That time I got him before I pushed him over. It's because I'm set to easy on my difficulty. So that's our desert skiff. Yeah, we all know what happened to Boba the last time he was at the Sarlacc Pit. Nah, just kidding. I won't be that. We won't do that to Boba here. we won't treat him like that. But how awesome was he in Mandalorian Season 2, played by Tamora Morrison? That was impressive. That's the Boba we were all hoping to see return to live action in Star Wars. Anyway, this has been a playthrough of my overall general Tatooine level. Experiments with a lot of different techniques and methods and areas to play around with. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to my next video where we're going to go block by block build of this particular desert skiff. Take care.